Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the...
Trump and U.S. Army won't descend heavily on Nigeria. News wey we dey hear right now, the Tinubu government don't threaten this guy for reporting news wey be saying they talk say things no dey go well for Nigeria, say they need division and all this Christian genocide where they go on. You know, report so many things where they go on. So they don't threaten them about everything we be saying talk. They say why you go just the report news they talk say things are not going well in Nigeria, and why you go the report news they talk say na division will be say go separate. So many things we be say this guy talk, and now they don't threaten him. News don't they carry him. All the whole Nigerian news don't they carry him. As it stands right now, this guy go to fear now, and U.S. Army they don't give warning. They don't tell everybody, anybody will be say threaten their citizen. See waiting, they go just leave anything what they do, they go come for them, they go come for them heavily to make sure say, you know, see US they know carry their citizen play, they know they joke with their citizen. Any of their citizens where they any country, they know about them, and if anything happen, they go come for the person. So I'm not gonna just talk much. I go want me to just pay attention, watch this video from the start to the end, listen to waiting. They don't tell this guy, and we listen to waiting. Nigeria really want just buy this guy by all means, and watch to the end. I know whether say na Tinubu agenda, na Tinubu plan, because Tinubu, I know say Tinubu they show him this one, but they no go to show him how people they go for the country. Now this one where they go to show him about this guy, about tweeting they talk, and about the messages we be saying they send to international community about the killing we be say they go on for Nigeria. I know say they don't they find way to bring. In fact, I'm not going to just talk much. Watch this video from the start to the end. Share this video and listen at the end. Waiting Donald Trump and in people will be messages will be say they don't send. I'm not going to talk much. Click the subscribe button for more updates.
Are you ready to be held accountable if indeed your comments, your actions and inactions are found to have incited people to violence?
Which laws have been broken, can I ask?
Well,
and even more so, which incitement to violence has been done? You know, I appreciate the prior remarks and context regarding different issues in Nigeria. I would say that it's despicable to try to compare me to anything in Rwanda. It truly is disgusting. When have I called to murder one person? I have never once called for anybody to be murdered. I have called for people to be protected.
Well,
that the government
Alex,
is not doing their job.
Alex, maybe not directly.
Slaughtered.
Maybe not directly. Maybe not directly calling for revenge attacks, but from what you're telling the people, they get more agitated, and this leads to
defend themselves,
violence.
Yes,
killing. To defend themselves. But we have the government and security
Could you not
agencies.
Protect your own daughter and son from being killed by terrorists? Is that wrong? Is that harmful rhetoric? To protect your families from terrorists? Because it's Christians that were saying to protect themselves? Everybody should protect themselves. And anybody in their right mind, if they are being threatened, if their daughter, mother, father, anybody is being threatened to be killed, it is their right to protect themselves. If you cannot live in peace and you cannot protect yourself, what country is this? I mean, if you can't live, what is that? Anybody in their right mind would not want their families to be killed. And that's all I call for. If the government is failing to protect you, you should protect yourselves from people who would take your life. There's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing breaking a law about that. There's nothing evil in that. And from my understanding, even in Muslim and Christianity, you should protect yourself from threats. I'm not saying to go and take up arms and go murder the government. I've never called for that. I've never called for anybody to be murdered. I've never called to do anything regarding the government. I said, protect yourselves from people who would threaten your life.
Well,
and there's nothing wrong with that. No law has been broken.
There are also claims that there was a meeting you held with the local population, and after, talking to them, there was a reprisal, a revenge attack that also led to the death of two other people in Plateau State.
That was already done before I arrived. What I noticed was the burning in the fire. The people had taken revenge, and that fire was actually where the attack happened, which I found out after I had left Angwarukuba. So they had killed two people, innocent people that were Muslims from what I was told, in revenge for the original attack. And those two people were in Akeke, from what I was told. And so they were killed before I arrived. So it's a false narrative to try to say, oh, because this person came that they went and did this. For 2 decades, have Christians not taken revenge after being attacked in Jos? This is nothing new. It's been happening for 20 years. You know, let me tell you this. The founder of the ministry that I work with in Jos, he was murdered by Muslims in front of the university. He was on the way back from a funeral because it was the middle of a crisis. He was cut into pieces. His body parts into pieces in the middle of a crisis. This was 7, 8 years ago. I wasn't there. So it's a false narrative to try to say that, oh, because a white man came, all of a sudden people are killing people. For decades, people are killing people.
Alex, you said something earlier that Muslims are also being killed. You talked about Zamfara,
Absolutely.
Katsina State.
Absolutely.
So why continue pushing a narrative that appears to support what they call now the Christian genocide? The question is, why does it appear your activity in Plateau State and indeed Benue State is making an already bad situation worse?
I would first pose the question, what that has been done has made it worse.
Well, your comments and the rhetorics you're pushing, calling on the local population to defend themselves.
Yeah, so I don't really see which comment has been insightful. You know, I have called that one, the terrorism should end, that the government should be doing everything in their power to protect innocent people, Muslim and Christian alike. I've been very vocal about obviously the Christians who are being killed across Plateau, Benue, Taraba, those types of states. But I've never rejected and I've directly talked about the violence happening in Zamfara, in Katsina, in Sokoto, and Kwara. I mean, the ones who were killed in the Woro massacre, which you're very aware about, were primarily Muslim people. You know, there's still hundreds of people that are in captivity that were kidnapped, both in Kwara, and then also, you know, we saw recently with ISWAP in Boko Haram in Borno State, hundreds of people that are still in captivity. And so the things that I have said, I would say that I would ask people to show me and tell me specifically what rhetoric and what words are causing anything. Because for me, I've called that, yes, innocent people should be defending themselves. You know, in America, we can do this. You know, in America, you have more guns than you do people. And so, you know, this type of issue can't even really happen in America.
But
because
this is, you know,
if I were to go to someone else's house, they would defend themselves. Yeah, no, it's 100% truth. Like I said, Muslims are being killed in Nigeria. This can't be questioned. It's a fact. But there's two things that I want to really be clear about, okay? If you say that Christians are being killed and there may be a Christian genocide, that doesn't mean that Muslims are not being killed in Nigeria. And so I want to be very clear about that. What I am saying and what I have seen with my own eyes and what I've heard from Christians and Muslims alike in Nigeria, there's two things. In Zamfara, in Borno, Kwara, Katsina, Sokoto, Muslims are being killed. Muslims are being kidnapped. Hundreds and hundreds, thousands of villages have been burned. It's pure evil. Across the Middle Belt, specifically in Plateau, Kaduna, Benue, Taraba, the truth is that Christians are directly being targeted. That can't even be disputed. And the question that I would ask is, if this is not the case, how many Muslims and how many Fulani people have been killed? How many of their villages have been burned in these states? So again, I'm only referring to Plateau, Taraba, Benue, Kaduna, those places. Fulani cattle herders are not killing their own people. They're not burning their own villages. They're going and targeting Christians in their villages. And so that is why we are saying, okay, in these states, Christians are being targeted. We're not saying Muslims are not being killed and Muslims are not suffering across Nigeria, because they are. That's the truth. It's a fact. And I've never said anything different than that.
All right, Alex, I would ask you now, it has been alleged that, you know, you're serving the interest of foreign influences. How do you explain allegations that, you know, you were invited by a certain aide to the former governor of Benue State to push certain political agenda in Nigeria?
If I were to respond to every allegation, I would never move from a newsroom. The reality is that people will continue to allege anything they desire, anything they think. And what I would say is, if you want to allege something, then there needs to be evidence or proof of such. You can't just say that I'm going to allege that this person is this person is that, this person has done that, but I have no proof of that actually being done. So if someone wants to say, oh, this person is CIA, he's a foreign operative, foreign agent, what shows that I'm a foreign agent or a foreign operative?
Well,
is
Alex,
there any type of proof or evidence at all? And even more so, which CIA operative or foreign agent is in the public eye? I mean, everything about me is public. I don't try to hide anything. You can see my life, my history, where I played football, what state I'm from, where I do work, what countries I go to, what I've built. I'm very open. I have nothing to hide. So it's on the burden of the people to show proof, not for me to disprove false allegations with no proof.
All right, countries. Is this about a push for Nigeria's mineral resources, or it is truly about peace and finding lasting solutions to the conflict? And how exactly are you even working with government whose primary responsibility is to ensure the safety of lives and property?
Which minerals have I sought? I haven't done anything regarding any minerals. I've never made comments regarding minerals. I've never touched a mineral. I build churches. I build schools. I rebuild villages that have been burned. I stand for the oppressed. I stand for freedom. I stand for the innocent people to protect themselves from terrorists and people that would take their lives. I've never discussed minerals. I have no interest in minerals. I don't even know what minerals there are in Nigeria. I know there's tin because I saw tin miners mining in Ladi. So I don't know where these allegations come from outside of people that simply are trying to slander, trying to spread misinformation and propaganda, to try to silence me, to discredit me, to try to shade over the work and the things that I am saying and what I am doing. But the reality is that truth is my greatest defense. Because truth cannot be argued. A fact cannot be argued. Allegations can be argued. And this is an allegation.
All right,
but when there's no proof and there's no facts, there's nothing for me to say. I can't disprove, but there's nothing to respond to.
All right, then. Alex, what next for you? You know, you have left the country. You deny claims or allegations or claims that your visa was revoked, but now you have left Nigeria. You're in Florida. Are there plans to return to continue with your work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually went to Quara. I wasn't even supposed to be in Plateau during this mission. I went to Quara to rebuild Woro. And when I got there, between the government, the governor, the chairman, military, they said that we're not allowed to rebuild Woro village. They said there was a heightened security risk in that area. And so I had to reshape everything. I had to drive 20 hours through the night back to Plateau to figure out what I'm going to do and to reallocate those funds specifically for building in Ladi. And so I'm waiting to still go back to Quara to build for Woro. I have money specifically for that in the account for rebuilding. And so we're currently drilling. We're rebuilding a village in Ladi. And so we even did some building in Kebbi. And so, yes, I absolutely have plans to be coming back to continue that work. That Alex, is what I do. And I'm waiting to go to Woro.
Alex, who is funding you? Who's funding your works?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very open about this. So in America, when it comes to nonprofits, the primary people that fund these types of organizations are, one, you have individual people that give to charity. That's how nonprofits are primarily funded. Two, you have churches that give, and then you have also organizations that give. And so you have three pools of people that if they believe in what you're doing, they believe in the work that you're doing and how it's being done or whatever it is, then they support you with funds. This is how it works in America and
what do they want
countries all around the world.
And what do they want in return?
There's nothing in return. You don't get anything. It's charitable. So you give without any type of expectation of being given anything back. So that's how it works for charities and nonprofit organizations, which Building Zion is a nonprofit organization.
Are you committed to seeing lasting peace or seeing the government, restore lasting peace to Nigeria and ensure that both Christians and Muslim population are protected?
The answer is yes, unequivocally. To me, it's actually a shame that I even need to speak regarding injustice in the killings. And I would actually completely agree with what you just talked about, that if there was justice, I wouldn't even need to say a word. I would prefer that I could come and build a school, build a church in peace, not have to say a word to anybody, not be in the public eye. That's how I began in Nigeria. But because of how much injustice I saw and how every time I come, I'm getting reports from all these pastors, everybody kill. I'm like, how can I be silent? And so when I see those things, I'm like, truth needs to be told, justice needs to be served, and we need to speak for the innocent, speak for the oppressed. And so I am on the side of peace. I wish there was peace. I wish Muslim and Christian alike that people did not have to be killed. Whether I disagree with your beliefs or not, that's okay. I'm not going to kill you because I disagree.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again, they can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces.
For wetin Trump talk now to protect their citizens, say if in our country Nigeria now they don't even care whether their citizens they outside to even protect them, they don't even get their data to even know who they outside to show say they don't even like us. So now the reason why all of us they talk say if the country don't tire Tinubu, make they just divide this country, make everybody just deal on their own, realize on their own, rule the way we want, and that's the only way where peace could just even day for the continent. Because if you look at everything, you go see these people don't even tired, they don't even know waiting to do, they don't know how to rule. In fact, they don't even confuse. I don't know whether if they enter that office they could just start to do anything will be say they like, or something go black from there. I don't know whether you get any devil will be say they differ from other countries for to Nigeria too. We be say they go outside country, see how things they work well, but to implement all those resources, implement all those things for this country, because say they no go fit. So it's a shuffle thing. I don't go just talk much. Allow una share una own thought at the comment section. Don't forget to click the subscribe button for more updates.